Okay, here's some additional assistance for the My Maths homework on sectors. I've got, well, we're going to have a look at two questions, or four in total, but two to begin with, that are fairly similar, well, will be similar, but with different numbers, to the ones that you're going to have to attempt. So the first one, we want to find the length of the arc. Now, an arc is the curved part, this bit here. Okay, so we are trying to find the length of that. And this is part, if we imagine the thing was a whole circle, this is part of the circumference of the circle. So our formula for the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, where r is the radius of the circle, the distance from the centre to the circumference. So if we wanted to think about the whole circle, if it was part of a whole circle, and this was a slice out of it, then the circumference of the circle would equal 2 times pi times 6, because our radius is 6. Now, we don't want the circumference of the whole circle, we just want this little fraction of it. And if we think about it, a fraction of a circle, well, if we think about a full turn, it's 360 degrees. And we want 22 degrees out of those 360. If we type something like this into our calculator, we will get the length of the arc. Okay. Now for the second question, we want the perimeter. Now the perimeter of the shape is all of the sides added together. So we want the length of the arc, but we will also need to add on to that the length of the two straight sides. So we're going to do a similar thing to what we did for the first question. We're going to use our circumference of a circle, and we're going to find the fraction of the circumference that we want. In this case, we want 302 degrees out of the 360, and then we're going to times that by the circumference of the whole circle, which is 2 pi r, 2 times pi times 29. That will be the length of the green bit, and then onto that we would need to add the length of the two orange bits. Now the two orange bits are the same length because they're both radii of the same circle. So we'd add two lots of 29. And that's how we go about tackling the first two questions. The second two questions, we've got to find the radius this time. So we have got to find this length here. We're told what the length of our arc is, so we kind of need to use our formula again, the same as we did last time where we had the 2 pi r, because we're going to be using part of our radius, but we're part of our circumference of our circle, but we're going to have to find the radius. So what I'm going to do is this time the length of the arc is 17, which would be the answer to our calculation of 27 degrees out of 360 degrees times by 2 times pi times r. Now we don't know what the r is, so what we can do is we can work out what this lot here is. We can work out the answer to that. 27 over 360 times 2 times pi, and that gives us 3/20 of pi. And then what we can do is we can do the length of our arc divided by this 3/20 pi, and that will give us our radius. And the easy way to do this on our calculator, we can go 17 divided by, answer, and that tells us that our radius equals 36 point and a load of stuff. The last question, we've got to work out the area of the sector. So instead of